For this assignment and this example, I have chosen a family favorite, Janet's Rich Banana Bread. As it says on the recipe, it's moist, and it is a family favorite. So, enjoy and good luck with the assignment. Listen carefully. This tutorial video will show you how to calculate multiples of a recipe that you have using fractions and your understanding of multiplication. So, a minute ago I showed you Janet's Rich Banana Bread. Janet's Rich Banana Bread, I'm only going to use the second half of the recipe, just as an example. And there was 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Well, if I know that it is, again, 5 times, you'll know that all the recipes we're going with 5 times. So with the baking powder, it was 1 teaspoon of baking powder. We're going to multiply that by 5, which should be easy enough to say 5 teaspoons of baking powder. Then we're going to the 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Pretty easy also here. 1 teaspoon of baking soda multiplied by 5, because again it is what we are multiplying, and that's going to be 5 teaspoons of baking soda. The next one down is the salt. This one is 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So in this situation, we would multiply that by, again, 5, which is our multiplier. We could do this a couple different ways. We can take 1/2 and multiply it 5 times, 1/2, which is the same as saying 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. That's 5 times, which would give us 5 halves. And when we convert that from an improper fraction to a proper mixed number, that would be 2 1/2 teaspoons salt. All right, the next one is 1/2 cup, abbreviate it with a C, sour cream. Well, again, we multiply that by 5. You can follow the same format, 1/2 plus 1/2, 5 times, or we can use a little bit of fraction multiplication. So, in fraction multiplication, I can simply take 5 multiplied. So it is the same as taking 1/2, which is your 1/2 cup, multiplied by 5. And 5, boys and girls, is the same thing as 5/1, which is 5 wholes. And we multiply that to get 5 halves, which is the same as we have over here, which would equal, I'm going to have to, running out of room here, but it would be 2 1/2 cups sour cream. 1/2 cups of chopped walnuts, multiply that again by 5, our multiplier. And from what we have at top, we would know that that is 2 1/2 cups of chopped walnuts. Our final is 2 medium bananas, smashed. Well, multiply that by 5, easy enough, and that gives us 10 bananas. Please pay attention. We have at least 4 ingredients. There are actually 6. 2 of them at least, which was actually 3, 2 of them at least have a fraction in their measurements. And it is something that, for me anyway, this is one of my family's favorite banana bread recipes. In fact, I made this about 4 days ago, and it was yummy. This should be a good example of how to get started. See what you do, and good luck. Be in touch if you need any help. Now that I have completed the example, I want to give you one last reminder. I did, as the example, the 5 times the recipe. For your assignment, you will be doing a recipe that has 10 times the amount on the recipe, and then you'll do one with 20 times the amount on the recipe, and then finally one with 50 times the amount on the recipe. So again, you do not need to do this one. I have done it. You're responsible for these 3 right there. You'll need to choose one of these. It doesn't matter to me which one. You'll need to choose one of these to use to explain your processing and how you came up with the amounts that you did. Good luck, and again, contact us if you need help.